Hello, AOS fans.
Hello,
We're
everybody. We're
here.
live.
We're back. We're
Ooh.
alive.
Yes. Alive.
Who
Yeah.
have we got on tonight? We've got Red Rose, Wargaming, we've got VJ Morph, we've got Gareth Steele, we got some twat called Robin Brooks, we've got Milky Pates, we've got Andrew Barlow, Chris Bodycott. Hello, everybody.
It's very
We've
rude.
got a lot more than that, actually. We've got 17 people watching, but those are the people who said hello in the channel. So do feel free to stick a hello in the
Hang on
comments
a minute.
below.
Sorry, my YouTube is lagging behind,
Mm,
and it started speaking. I've turned it off. Right.
right,
So, carry
all
on.
done.
Yes.
Cool.
Sorry.
Right, how is everybody? How are you, Robin? How are you doing today?
I'm not too bad, thank you. I'm a little bit windswept.
Yes, it's a bit windy here in the UK right now, and I'm not talking about the
Yes.
curry I had yesterday.
I thought it would be a good idea earlier to go out for a bike ride, which was fine on the way out. But after having a couple of hours with my dad and then cycling back, it was not so good. It was very wet.
It's slightly damp. Oh,
Yes.
we've had four more people who will say hello. C. Muley, Valentin Hornick, Daniel Fellows, Zach Matthews, Matt Collins,
God, they're all
Mayor
coming in.
Christie. Ah! Hello to
And
everybody.
we've even got hangers on saying hello.
We've got hangers
Loz
on.
has said hello. Yeah, Matt's Loz. She's hangers on. I don't mean hangers on. I mean it's better halves
Better
really.
halves.
She says hello too.
Oh, hello,
Hello.
hello. Cool. Right, well, let's get on with our usual waffle.
Waffle waffle.
It's the Grand Clash week. Are you prepared, Robin?
Well, I was quite prepared.
Uh, the
And then on Wednesday, maybe
It was
Thursday,
Thursday, I think.
Thursday was it? Yeah, it was Thursday, wasn't it? It was after we played. Games Workshop dropped their bombshell, completely unexpected, unlooked for, unwanted, undesired
Unrequested, unrequited, unbelievable
far list.
new far list
Fart list, yes,
is what we think of
yeah,
it.
exactly. And I suppose there are two elements to it. I guess we're going to talk about that tonight
One,
mostly, aren't
two,
we?
two elements.
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean hanger on, Matt. I meant totally better half. I just it's just my own. I like to walk the line,
And then
and so
stumble over
so
it.
that well, yeah, and then so that my wife, no, as my father-in-law puts it, it's good to know you're alive.
Even if it isn't for very long.
Yeah, yeah. So that's what I was doing. But yes, anyway, so I apologise, Matt, and hello, Loz. It's lovely to. I don't know if you're listening in the background or actually watching, but it's lovely to have you on board.
Yep. The more other halves we can get
Oh, it's
encouraged, the
here.
better.
It's here. It's time to go.
Oh, right. See you later. Bye, Ed. Right. So yes, we had the far list land, and you said there were two parts. Two.
Well, there's like the file list
Yeah.
itself, like in isolation. Not if you were going to a Grand Clash in 10 days later after it came out. I think so. There's two things two things to talk about. There
Yes.
is the timing of it and the actual list itself. I don't know which order you
I
want to do
mean,
that in.
people put in the comments if you want us to talk about the specific cards that have been added. I feel like they've probably already been discussed a lot online. If anybody who's watching us
Yeah.
isn't online,
Ah! My head's fallen off.
if anybody who wants to hear what cards are in the file list and wants to hear our opinion on, do shout in the comments below. But I think it's more important that we just talk about the generics. Can't hear you, Robin. You might have unplugged or muted your speaker.
I'm just not
Oh, right,
speaking.
okay.
I'm not speaking. I'm concentrating on this problem, technical issue I'm having.
Sorry, everybody. Sorry.
If I just take this off the tripod, it's the tripod. I need a new tripod. Is that better? It's all right until it falls off the speaker.
Oh dear.
There we go. How's that?
I think you might
That
need to move it a
all right?
little bit. That's better. Yeah.
If I twist
Yeah,
myself,
twist yourself. It's going to be safer than trying to twist the camera. No, the other way. The other way. The other way. You need to move the camera to the.
all right,
you need
wrong way,
to-
wrong way.
yeah.
Okay, right. Sorry about this. Okay, right, there we go. That's it. I won't move anymore. Very professional. Yes, it was
Gravity
indeed.
one,
This is
Robin zero.
that's basically how my Grand Crash preparation is going.
It just
I think it's all right, and then when I start, it all falls off.
it all goes to
So
pot.
yeah. So anyway, yes, Ed, I had camera droop, but it's okay. I now have
So
wood.
yes, do let us know if you think you want us to discuss the actual the cards themselves, but I think we can just talk about our opinion of the timing.
Yeah, I wanted to talk a little bit about the
Okay.
cards, but only in that is kind of just in my general thought about the bar list itself. But we'll talk about the timing first. I mean, I suppose tournaments happen all the time, don't
Yeah.
they? So whenever, if they just announce one, there's going to be somebody who's put out by it. And in this case, it was me, and not just me. But I kind of feel like I don't know. So the file list needs to come out before the Grand Clash in order to have better balance. Yeah, I can see that, Valentin. And because I'm a noob, I'm happy that the pros don't have too much time to hone their decks. Well, actually, the pros is another thing that I might come on to in a
I
bit.
think that that's possibly not the truth. In that, I think a lot of the pros, as it were, which happen to be a lot of the play testers, will actually know about this and have. Robin's gone. He doesn't want to talk about it anymore. He's done.
I'm done. I'm done. Look, I've got my slightly out of date snowman here.
You got a
Somebody's just
snowman.
commented. Somebody's just commented on. They can see behind me. Unless that's a different snowman. There's another snowman behind me, maybe. Anyway, sorry.
I think that actually that it coming out so late gives the pros, as it were, and as an extension of that, I think a lot of playtesters an unfair advantage because they'll, whilst everybody's got less time, the pros, the playtesters, all those kind of people will either already know about these things, or they will have generally more time to practice and hone because they probably play the game a lot more. Whereas noobs like us, we've got maybe the chance to play 3 or 4 games tops before we get there.
Yeah, I mean, a little bit. I don't want it to sound like sour grapes. I'm a little bit guarded about what I say, but I do feel like if you've been involved in the process, like if you are a playtester or you work there, and we know the people who work in the office play at these tournaments, they will bound to have been talked about. You know, what card you always
Yeah,
put in your
yeah.
deck, kind of thing. We better ban that. And I kind of feel that. Yeah, again, the playtesters they may have been asked, what's it like playing without X card, or if X card was restricted. I just feel that they will know,
Yeah.
and also those of us who Pete and I, obviously we could play more games if we didn't record them all, but we probably wouldn't go up to London to play,
No.
and we can only play each other. We only play a couple of games a week, so we're looking at we've done 3 months, well not even 3 months, 2 months practice
Yeah.
maybe, which is what 20. Let's say 10 weeks practice. That's 10 games
Yeah.
each with each other because we play each other.
Play
We
different decks.
play our Warband once a night. So this means that 10 weeks not quite down the drain, but it's certainly messed
Devalue
up.
some of it to an extent.
So yeah.
And Valentin asks, are game testers allowed to participate? Yes, the beta testers are all allowed access, as are the employees, and that's why I'm a little bit more annoyed by it. If it were a system where only Joe Public had access to the tournaments and playtesters did and all the rest of it, I wouldn't mind so much. But because they can, that's what annoys me. And I know, they playtesters have to play in the tournaments. I accept that because it would be ridiculous to not allow playtesters, beta testers to be in some of the biggest tournaments out there to see what their thoughts on the game are.
Well, they probably wouldn't do it for a start.
Exactly. But I do feel, and I think Matt might mention it as well, that they do need to bring them out. They do need to bring these out, but there needs to be a grace period, and we talked about this before a bit, and I think there needs to be like at least a 4-week static period of no new warbands, no new cards, no new file lists, so that everybody has a semi-decent chance to have a good go at sorting their deck out beforehand.
Yeah, now obviously you've got the problem. I mean, they either need to have, like, this is going to be when the Grand Clashes are, so they're going to be on these dates, and this is when the file list is going to be released, so maybe three a year, let's say, and that's when it's going to be. And then everybody knows, okay, it may just happen to fall that the January Grand Clash is a week after the file list, but at least there's going to be a file list, and you have to bear in mind that some cards I think everybody knew that when there was a file list, Temporary Victory was going to be on it. So you'd be thinking, okay, well, Temporary Victory is going to be restricted. I need to bear that in mind. I at least need to bear that in mind because there's going to be a change just before the tournament. Having said that, I think if they are going to fix the tournament dates, then they should allow longer before the actual kind of full Grand Clash tournaments. Or what I actually think would be the best way to do it, but I can see why this might cause more confusion, would be to say, release on, say, the 1st of December, and say, as of the 1st of January, these cards will be restricted. So everybody has a
I
month
think I think if you do
to
that,
do it.
everyone will immediately start playing with them as if they were restricted anyway.
But the tournaments, well, I suppose the tournament officer would have a choice
Yeah, yeah,
then
true.
if they wanted to
That's
do that.
true.
But I mean, in some ways, in the run up to Christmas is a good time to do it because there's probably less tournaments.
Yeah,
But I just feel that way everybody knows from this date this is how you stand. But people who have got tournaments next week, and also it doesn't put the tournament officers in a difficult position. If you were running a tournament on Saturday, you're going to get people turning up who've changed their decks, but you're going to get people who are less into the
yeah,
hobby who haven't changed
yeah.
their decks. And what do you do? Where at least you've got a month. You've got a month to do it. So
Yeah, I definitely think there needs to be that period, that grace period in between when I mean they've done it multiple times now. Almost every well, most Grand Clashes that I remember, they've done something like this. The very first Grand Clash ever, they brought out Sepulchral Guard and Oryx on the day of the Grand Clash, and they were legal to play. And then Sepulchral Guards
yeah,
won. The one that we attended, they released the Powers Unbound pack the weekend before the Grand Clash. And then there's this one where they've released the new far list a week and a half before.
and I think that's what smarts the most. It was my own fault, but I made some bad choices in my life. No, I made some bad choices before the last Grand Clash because of that pack. I didn't really test it out properly, and I chose what looked like good cards, and I put too many of them together, and it didn't work, and I didn't have time to sort that out. And if you haven't got that time, then it's harsh to be, okay, if you play 2 or 3 times a week, then probably the far list the week before isn't going to bother you that much. But if you don't play that often, I think it does mess you up, and you could just go. And I've been trying to find a replacement for Transfixing Stare. If I choose the wrong card, I've had no time to test it, and I could just every game I'm thinking, I've got this card which I haven't
Yeah.
tested, and it's a bum. So it ruins the day.
It does.
And then people start to think, well, should I book this tournament? Are they going to change the meta just before it? So they definitely need clear, defined dates as a minimum of when they're going to release BAR lists, and possibly they should do 3 a year, 4 a year, no more than that, but 3 a year
Yeah, I mean,
maybe.
3 or 4 would be fine. I think the key is giving the notice so that people know when it's coming. A couple of people have commented that C. Muley has said that he loves the fact that every time the list gets updated, people need to consider less used cards, and I do like that, and I think that that's a really important part of the game, so that everybody doesn't end up taking the same things. But I don't have a problem with the far list. The only problem I have is with the timing of the implementation of it.
Yeah, and obviously that's particularly personal to us. If it had come out after this Grand Clash, but before the one that's a couple of weeks later at the LVO, then we probably wouldn't have been quite so aggrieved. But there would be people who were. But those guys have obviously got more chance to see what happens in this Grand Clash, see what's worked for people, what hasn't worked for people. And Andrew just said, when you make changes to a deck, you need to practice to make it work. Without a practice, the deck can fall apart with 1 or 2 poor card choices. Yeah, exactly, yeah. Andrew. That's when we talked a bit. Andrew and I talked a little bit behind the scenes. And Andrew's deck is a classic point. I'm really looking forward to seeing Andrew play on Saturday. His deck is incredible, and it has so many different things that are completely different to everything else you've ever seen in this game. And it's been stuffed a little bit by this, despite having being very different. And if he wants to make those changes, then I think it's clearly a well-crafted deck that's taken a lot of practice, and suddenly he's got to find, I think in particular for Keep Them Guessing, he's got to find a new equivalent of, and if he doesn't get the right one when he's got barely no time to practice, then the whole thing can fall apart, and that's a real shame, because Games Workshop actually want to promote different variants of play, not I think with the timing of this BIR list, I think you might find people reverting to very safe decks that they know work.
Yeah. So I think once you've got last place now, you've bigged him up too much. I think that might answer some of the points that have been asked as well, because somebody said with the shake-up with the new restrictions, do we think decks at the tournament will be more diverse? And I think given the short amount of time before, I think we'll see a lot of different cards that people have put in to replace some of the restricted cards that have now landed. So I think that's a good thing. But at the same time, I'd rather have had 4 weeks to work out what I wanted to take.
But I wondered though, because I chose the Gits for an objective style game, but I deliberately didn't choose the Thorns or the Grimwatch, who probably do what my deck's trying to do better. And obviously all three of it across the board have been hit by the bar list, but I kind of feel because the Grimwatch and the Thorns do it better, that the Goblins, I'm really struggling to find a reliable set of Surge cards, but those two Warbands have got much more reliable faction-specific cards, and so they can fall back on those. So I wonder whether actually you might get people who are competitive actually drifting back towards that, because that's I think they're still just as safe. And this is something else I was going to say in my notes that I've written, was that I haven't played very many of these types of games, and I know all of them have the equivalent of the far list, like Magic and Pokemon. They all have the equivalent of cards they ban. But again, please guys tell me if I'm wrong. This game is slightly different because you've got two companions. You've got all the cards, and laying underneath that or above it are the warbands themselves, and they are different to. So in Pokemon, you've just got a whole card set, or Magic, you've just got a whole card set you play from. And if a particular play style becomes super strong and they restrict the cards or ban the cards, then that's completely nerfed. But everybody's got their whole set of cards they can play with and generate new things. Whereas in this game, you've got Eyes of the Nine and the Thorns, and Eyes of the Nine are obviously weaker than the Thorns. If you had no cards, they're obviously weaker. But a nerf to keep them guessing nerfs them both equally, and if anything, it nerfs the worst warband more
because they've got less options.
Because they really rely on it, because they haven't got those other things to fall back on, the other ways of generating glory. And so I'm not sure the farthest is, and they have they have this kind of policy of not nerfing any faction cards, which I like to an extent, but I think I fear that in some ways Keep Them Guessing probably could do with being banned for Grimwatch and the Thorns, maybe, but it's for Eyes of the Nine. Not so much. I know that the reason for Keep Them Guessing being banned wasn't so much that it was overpowered; it was more the confusion around it. Although they created most of that confusion themselves, which is a bit frustrating by errataing it stupidly in the first place.
Yeah, it's a bit annoying when they badly errata cards or badly write them, and then they have to ban them because they're just not very clear, or they break the flow of the game. I don't think they've ever completely banned a card because it was just overpowered, but I think they have banned them because of, like you say, they're not very clearly worded or whatever. Robin, you need to move your camera pointing down a little bit.
I need to move it, point it down
just a little, just a wee bit.
It's quite hard because it's resting on something because the tripod broke, so it's literally just resting on my speaker.
Can you turn to your right then a little?
Sorry. That better?
Yeah. You just need to sit up more. Sit up, boy.
Oh.
That's it. Perfect. You just look like you've got a stick up your ass.
I can't sit like this the whole time though. Wigglefish has joined us, and I feel that he probably would have been much better at talking about the meta than I am. But I don't know. I just feel that because it's more complicated than just the banning the cards or restricting the cards. It has a knock-on effect for some warbands more than others, and I don't feel that the Grimwatch are particularly. I suppose who's one out of it is aggro warbands, isn't it? And maybe everybody who's less aggro have taken a hit, which includes the Eyes of the Nine. But yeah, there you go.
One of the questions that was asked of us in our pre-live question session, due to time constraints to practice with the new restrictions, do we think it would turn casual players off from playing competitive scenes? I know I personally, on the day of reading that file list, was ready to cancel the hotel booking and never bother playing this stupid game ever again. So I definitely think Minstrel's Fight Club are online. Those guys make awesome battle reports.
Hello.
Anybody who hasn't checked them out, they are superb.
Yeah, and they must fear the bar list even more than us, because their games must take forever to make. So by the time they've actually recorded it and got it out, then it could be 3 far lists and 2 factions
new
further on.
And everything have appeared, but do check out their battle reports. They are freaking awesome. I love them. There's another thing that made me want to throw the towel in and just give up completely. When I saw that, I was like, right, done with this. It's a young man's game, Robin. You're too old.
Well, this is. Yeah, it is a little bit, I think. but all these
Yeah,
games
that's
are.
true.
But I just Wiggle Fish Misses keep Guessing. Yeah, I think I really liked Keep Them Guessing. My favourite moments in the game were we had one recently where you're doing one thing and you haven't got Keep Them Guessing in your hand, and you score a score immediately, and you draw Keep Them Guessing, and then you're okay. I've done two activations, and luckily they're they were both different, so I could score it. And then you have to suddenly work out on the fly how to score it. And I really love that card, and there aren't that many like it. And I think it's a shame that it's gone.
Yeah. Britain 7721 has said he's not been playing very long and he's come to the Grand Clash. Will people be forgiving if he's a bit slower than the usual players? From my experience personally, yes. I think as long as you know the rules, as long as you've got a good grasp on the rules, if you have to take a little bit of time when you're trying to work out what cards you want to play where, most players that I played were very understanding in that respect, and they were quite happy, even if you forgot to play a card and then a minute later, and you're like, oh, I forgot to play this card to get a glory or something, or I forgot to score this objective. Quite often, if you say that, quite often people are okay with you doing that retrospectively as well. So I think you've not got anything to worry about. But if you do want to see a friendly face, do come and find us. We'll be there.
Yeah, absolutely. I would agree with Pete there. I would say that people are very understanding if you're a little bit slower, and actually you won't be as slow as you think you might be.
No. Another question.
I was terrified of that. I'm still like slightly worried about it because the Gits are a sprawling sprawling
You
mob.
pick the largest warband, and you don't like large
Yeah,
warbands.
I know. But
Uh,
yeah, but people are very understanding and very helpful, and yeah, not most, everybody's there to have a good time and have fun. There are some people who take it more seriously than others, but everybody wants to have a good day. And I don't think there's anybody in the scene who would have a good day if they shout over a new player for not being quick enough.
I mean, last time when we were there was a kid there who was like 10 or 8 or something like that. He was playing.
Yeah.
I think his dad was there to watch, but I don't think his dad was taking part. But he was away.
Okay.
And I think I sat next to the games he was playing in twice. And yeah, it was great. It was awesome to see that people, this community, the underworlds community, seems really good. And generally, when you have an online community like 40k and stuff like that, you very quickly find that a lot of poisonous personalities can filter into that kind of online community, because obviously people are behind a keyboard, and that anonymous screen almost can turn people who are generally quite nice into a bit of an arsehole. And I found that the underworlds community doesn't really appear to be like that, which means that if there aren't that many people online that have that kind of poisonous personality, the chance of you meeting one in real life is almost zero, and everybody you meet in real life who's playing the game is actually a really nice person.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Daniel said he doesn't think Keep Them Guessing was that good, and Zarbag's played better without it.
Ooh.
I have to agree with you to disagree there, Daniel. My Zarbags don't. Although I haven't actually played with them yet, I've only tried to create the deck around it. But I'm not. My Zarbags aren't happy.
I do find that I didn't take it very often to Keep Them Guessing. I just
it's Tom and Daniel apparently. Phillips just said great players to play against, and I think they're both going to the Clash this time.
Cool. I didn't know. I didn't think he was playing last time. He might have been, but I didn't think he was. But awesome. Be good to see them there again if they are. I love seeing everybody of all ages and creeds and sexes and all the rest of it. The more variety we get, the better. Frankly, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, I would be. I'd say personally, I'd be slightly nervous of playing somebody who was my son's age, just because I know what happens when I beat him or he doesn't win. That's a bit, I'm not his dad though, so maybe it'd be all right. But I can see a situation where I think, well, I better not do that because I'll win then. And then the 14-year-old just turns around and crushes me next turn.
You're more worried about the fact that you're going to get absolutely pounded by like a 14-year-old or something and lose horribly, rather than be nasty to him.
Yeah, okay, that's true. That is what I'm actually worried about.
We were asked another question, which is, whilst preparing for the Grand Clash, do you think we've improved our skills in the game? I think our skills are like at the top of their game anyway. Or bottom of the barrel. I can't work out which is the right phrase for that. Either way, there's no changing it.
I think mine have a little bit.
You definitely don't seem to. I mean, people won't see this because I edit out a lot of the ums and ahs, but you definitely don't seem to and ah and have headaches quite so much when playing, especially with the gits. as you used to.
Yeah, well, the Gits, because I've obviously played them quite a lot of games in a row now, and I've really enjoyed playing with them. But I just think my positional play is a little bit better. They still make the odd mistake. And I do say a lot. You probably count them one time, how often I say, I'll probably regret that.
I think it's about how many turns are there in a go? I think it's about 12
12.
times.
Well, but one for the movement, one for the activation, and one for the power card, presumably.
Yeah, usually. So it's about 30.
Yeah.
So a couple more questions. What have we got? We were asked multiple times, why does GW hate us? I'm assuming that's in relation to the far deck being released. And I just...
Why did GW? Yeah, their timing sucked. They did it after the live chat and after our last game. Of course, every time when we record a game and then they do a file list, it makes the game that we just recorded completely not obsolete. And we've built up a little backlog, I think, haven't we, Pete? Because we've been playing quite a lot the last few weeks. So I think the next few games are going to be out of date that come out, unfortunately.
Do we think a reprint of aggressive defense in the future? I don't think so.
No, I don't think so. I don't like that card anyway. It upsets me. I'm not sure why. I think it's because I'm not very aggressive.
Could be.
I don't know. I just don't like it. I don't like playing it, and I really don't like it having it played against me.
It can be a bit that way, yeah. Another question we were asked is, will going to the Grand Clash be a yearly event on the channel? Who knows?
I hope so. I hope so. It's... Yeah.
I enjoyed the last one. I'm hoping to really enjoy this one. And, it's good fun. We get to meet up with you guys, which is always brilliant and makes my day. And holy crap, we've got 47 people watching in a minute.
Ooh,
and
47, wow.
Generally, I just enjoy that sort of weekend of fun and getting some games in and meeting people. So I'd like to make it an annual event if we can.
Yeah, I would too. It'd be really nice to get to this one and the one in October or the one in July maybe, but that might be a bridge too far. It's always one of those things. It's hard to know.
About 6 months ago, didn't we?
We did. I think we went to the one in July. So that would be good to go to that one again. I think I've got a feeling my July is already filling up because that's how family life works.
July is always a tricky one. It's a miracle we made it last time, actually. Will we be at Nottingham in time for the Bugman's Bar Clash on Friday? Sadly not. We probably won't get to Nottingham until like about 11.
I think, so we'll probably have just left London at the time it's finishing.
Yeah.
So, no, sadly not.
We can leave earlier, but that just means we'll spend longer in traffic.
Yeah. Keep chopping the new Dumber Brother and substitute for KPG. What's KPG?
I think it might be meant to be KTG.
KT. I'll keep them guessing. Yes, sorry. Yes. Yeah. Yeah, they're completely. I did think about going for keep chopping with the Gits, but I'm not sure it'll work.
Yeah, I mean, I do find myself taking keep chopping in any deck which has an offensive element in it. Just because if you're going to be hitting people, you might as well score more glory for it.
Yeah. Jeff says he's just got stuffed by the Sky Dwarfs. He's driving home listening.
Cool. Well, do pay attention to the driving and not the. Yeah. So Anonymous Jeff was taking his Gits to practice with them tonight, so stuffed by the Sky Dwarfs. That's a bit bitter. Sorry to hear that, mate.
Yeah, we need to. We'll unpack that offline, Jeff. I want to know where it went wrong.
I mean, I played a game against Anonymous Jeff on Tabletop Simulator, which was awesome. Probably one of the highest scoring games I've ever played in, which is 24-22. That was a crazy game. That was brilliant. I did lose it, but Celebi.
Yeah. Daniel says jealous defense needs to go. I'm intrigued to know why do you think that jealous defense needs to go, Daniel? Because I've actually dropped it from my deck because I just found whenever I tried to use it, Pete managed to circumnavigate it. Now I don't know whether that was just coincidence or we don't play that many games. So I did wonder whether perhaps I've just been a bit unlucky. But it's I haven't played it. Maybe I need to put it back in. Not that there's many ploys. There's all the ploys are good.
That's the problem. There's always too many ploys to take.
Yeah.
Another question: have we got over the far list? I'd say we have mostly got over it, but I'm still bitter about it. Another question: do we feel our decks are stronger or weaker for having been forced to change compared with whatever you think the meta is? I think mine's weaker right now.
Mine's definitely weaker, without a shadow of a doubt.
Britain says, any general tips versus Rippers? My mate's undefeated with them for like 8 games. We both suck.
Check his
Yeah,
dice.
we both suck with Rippers, so I don't think we can give you any advice.
Yeah, we're like the anti-Ripper team.
We're definitely not a channel that favours Rippers.
Yeah, I mean I think they're going to be strong at the Grand Clash. I have to say, I think somebody asked that question. Who's going to be good? I think they're going to be strong because they've had a boost. They've had a boost. Well, they've had a boost because because they haven't really been affected by the card changes, and they've had a boost with the far list, and so I think they'll be better.
Maybe. The problem we have is because we only play each other, and neither of us have managed to work out Rippers. Neither of us know really what a good Rippers deck or play looks like to be able to tell whether we can counter it or not. Which is part of the problem. Which is, Daniel says he's...
Yeah.
Sorry?
Go on, sorry. Sorry, I was just talking about Rippers. The one good thing about Rippers is try not to identify your reactions that stop the wolf attacking.
Yeah.
It's a small thing, but especially if they're relying on it, then you can. I know it's hard to rely on the wolf attack, but you can. If you've got a sneaky reaction that can stop it, that can lead them up the creek,
the garden path.
Particularly if it's those bloody bats from the Grimwatch. But nobody plays those. That card anyway.
But you can use Snurk. You can use your Snurk reaction to stop one. So it's always worth keeping your Snurk uninspired for that one.
Wigglefish, who I take as the Oracle, says that the Jealous is decent, but not that great.
I agree.
That's my assessment.
Daniel says that he thinks it should be banned for aggressive defense. That it should be banned for the same reason as aggressive defense. But I think aggressive defense was blocked because it made offensive warbands. It made objective warbands too much better because it. I can't remember which way around it goes, but basically it unfairly advantaged one side too much, and it sort of interrupted the flow. Well,
I think mainly it was got rid of because once it interrupted the flow, the reaction flow got incredibly confusing, and nobody could understand what was going on. That's what I think.
Matt Collins says it sounds like we need a third player, a wild card. We'd love to get more people on the channel, I think.
Yeah, we would. But it's
timing is the worst part. I mean, if you find that you're available near Gatwick Airport on a Wednesday evening from about 8 p.m. till near midnight, then let us know.
Sorted. The problem is, though, as soon as you do that, it's like how many games do you play and who plays who and all that kind of thing.
But I think in that situation, because we obviously had Simon on. One of our patrons, he did come on last year or the year before, possibly. No, it must have been last year.
We played four games that night, didn't we? And we nearly killed him. We haven't seen him since.
He's never come back. And I think we would possibly play less games, but it would possibly be a case of playing one game against each other. So if we got somebody on, for example, someone who might be called Matt or something like that, and he came on and played, then maybe we'd just do one game against you and one game against me, and we'd have a bit more of an after-game chat type thing. Yeah.
Andrew says he doesn't think Rippers are that good either, or his dad sucks playing with them. I love the fact that you play with your dad, Andrew. That makes me smile every time. I find the Snarl Fang attack too swinging. It's so frustrating. In a game that hasn't gone live yet, I had a bit of success with that. I did get a bit of run of glory, but it just I don't know. It's too.
But yeah.
No, it's too. What's the word?
Swingy.
Yeah, it's too swingy. Too swingy.
So other warbands that we think will be popular at the Grand Clash, I think Grimwatch is still going to be.
Thorns and Grimwatch.
I think are still going to be two big ones. Possibly Gits, because Gits are fairly good at the objective game. I think.
Although I think they've taken a knock. I think they've taken a knock more than because they haven't got the cover for. Because they were looking at. Calculated risk, scrum, temporary, and then that's 3 restricted cards gone already, so there's no transfixing stare, no sudden growth, stuff that they like to play. There's not going to be any Gits tomes, I don't think, because tomes have taken a hammering.
If you want to play tomes, you've got to take 2 restricted cards for tomes now.
Yeah,
I do think that's a...
Take 3. You've got to take 3, really, because the Acolytes are restricted and 2 of the tomes are restricted.
Oh, is it 2 tomes? Oh, yes, it is 2 tomes. Yes, so you would have to take all 3 cards and really commit yourself to that one, which I guess that's why they do that. So Ed says, what if the third person didn't play but just sat nearby hurling insults? Also acceptable.
Well, We could try that.
I mean, that was generally what happened. I think in the games where you were playing Simon in one game and you rolled like 10 dice and got one success, and then he rolled one dice and got a crit. You could just hear me cackling in the background.
That's probably my favourite Underworld moment.
Was
Got
brilliant.
a brief insight to knowing what it was like to be you.
Yep. So what else have we got in the list here?
Philip would like to see more people playing Season 1 Warbands. Yeah, me too. He says playing a Season 2 Warband. Problem is that most of them are crap. I reckon Reavers could be relevant, but I'm not sure any of the others don't have anything people can do better. Other people can do better.
Yeah, the problem I have with Reavers is Reavers are almost just like a slightly worse version of Despoilers. Because Despoilers have got some range, they've got cautious special ability, their Inspire mechanic is almost better than... I think the Reavers' Inspire mechanic is better still. They've got some good faction-specific cards, but I think overall, I don't know, I think Despoilers are just slightly better than Reavers.
Yeah, I think so. Wigglefisher said you could just take Acolyte and the 5 crappy tomes, which you could do,
Yeah.
I guess.
That's
but you're obviously cutting down the amount of glory you could earn that way.
And Andrew says Andrew says it's strange when they put other ways of playing like tomes, keys. They also did it with the relics. You're then heavily penalised for it, and I think it's because poor playtesting. People don't playtest those ways of playing enough, and then when it gets out there in the wild, people go, "I can really abuse this," and like with the relics, they can just sit at the back, play all the decent cards, and really abuse it, and then they realise actually this is a terrible idea. Now we've got to heavily penalise or ban it outright. And then, you go back to just the normal game again. That's what worries me a bit.
I think it's one of those things that I don't think anybody really thought about. I don't know, I could be wrong, but in particular the Morag Tome deck, I don't think anybody thought about what happens when you have this situation with a creature that's got 7 wounds.
Yeah.
But even things like the Horror, which you can resummon, or what's his name from the Gits, Snurk, I don't. Again, he's not that hard to kill, but if you get three or four, if you get 3 or 4 dodge on him, and he gets 3 anyway, doesn't he? But if you get the 4 dodge, the extra dodge, and then you start to get sudden growth and stuff like that before they restricted it, then I think they just didn't necessarily think about how that might all work, which is fair enough. There's a lot of moving parts, and it must be really difficult because Games Workshop are forever plagued by spoilers. And so I imagine if they do start to,
I wonder how
probably
much those are unintentional spoilers, though.
Yeah, but if you imagine if they gave somebody, or they had the whole season out for people to play test all simultaneously, so like all the tomes with all the combinations, so monologue and all that, they would leak. It would be leaked what the warband was going to be.
True. That is true.
I think, and that would be a shame because there is just something very nice about waiting to find out what the next warband is, even when it comes in, you go, oh. Yeah. Like I seem to, because we're never satisfied, are we?
No, that's true.
The anticipation is better than the realization.
The wife gets that often. So we got asked what warbands will
Pete and Robin stare into the middle distance.
Just sigh a bit. So one other question we got asked is what warbands would we be surprised to see there? I think Season 1 warbands, basically. I don't think we're going to get many Season 1 warbands.
No, I don't think so.
I'd be surprised to see the Fire Slayers. I'd be surprised to see Sepulchral Guard. But I'd be happy if I saw them. I think I'd be happy to see any Season 1 warband, but I don't think we're going to see that many. One or two.
No. So the Wigglefish says that interesting here. He said that he thinks the bigger issue is how long the BAR take to come out after new cards come out. If they were faster, the issues would be fixed sooner. Yeah, I can see what you're saying. So you mean effectively when Temporary Victory comes out, they realise immediately that was a nightmare card and restrict it, and so people know where they are quicker, and they can. But then how does that stop like odd builds like the tomes, for example? I don't know whether that would, even if it came out quickly, they'd still need to do something about
Yeah.
it. I'm not sure. I feel like, Jonathan, you probably have a better handle on that than I do, so you're probably right, and I'm not.
We need to do a chat. We need to do a live chat and get Jonathan, I think, a third participant. Yeah, I think. Phil's just said, did we see the possible image of the new Nurgle Warband released in White Dwarf? Yes, and it looks super.
Yes.
Can't wait for them.
Yeah. Pete stares into the middle distance again.
I don't care what they do. Yes. They could have the worst stats in the world. I'm playing them.
Yeah.
Just that's all I can say.
Movement 0.
Yeah, pretty much.
No
I don't
wounds.
care. I'm playing them. They look brilliant. I love everything Nurgle, so I'll be playing them.
Yeah.
A little bit of a left field question. We got asked, what boards are we taking?
Did we?
What boards are we both taking? I have not got a clue.
No, this week was going to be board week, where I went through the boards and worked out what I needed and which ones I was going to play. And of course, this week has been redo my deck. And so I haven't done anything about the boards. And tomorrow I'll get them out of the garage and have a look. Because tomorrow Pete and I are going up to London to play the general public.
Anybody's in London.
Anybody at London Bridge Station we can find. Want to play a game?
Anybody. There's that homeless guy just outside. Do you want to play? No, I've told you before. Leave me alone. Just buy a big issue and piss off. So yes, we're going to be up London. Anybody who's going to be at the Bad Moon Cafe on Wednesday will be there. Do come along. I mean, there's only 40 people watching. I say only. There's 40 people watching. I suspect none of them are anywhere near London. But thank you anyway. We love you all for watching us. Yeah.
We got bored. Oh, Ed.
Ed, I feel like you're a natural third part of the.
Yeah, I'm going to say you. If one of us died, you could slot straight in. Unless it was Pete because he does the video editing. If I died, you could slot straight in.
Oh dear. And we got asked, are we taking generic black and white dice or are we going fancy pants faction dice?
I'm contrary. I'm black and white. Faction dice annoy me.
I love faction dice, and I think I'm responsible for the faction dice we own. But I'm not taking them this time. I did contemplate buying the Despoilers dice, and as will be at Bad Moon Cafe, if they have the Despoilers dice there, I might just buy them. But I'm planning on taking just white and black ones for the most part.
I would take the white and black one. I might take my dice tray, but then you have that awkward. Do you have the conversation about what happens if a dice comes out of the dice tray, which I didn't have. I didn't have when we the last Grand Clash, and then I nearly picked one up because Pete and I, if it pops out, if it pops out of the green screen when we're doing it, we re-roll it, and it's just like we just know. So it popped out of the dice tray, and I nearly picked it up and re-rolled, and it was a miss as well. I nearly picked it up and re-rolled, and I managed to stop myself at the last minute. So I don't know what you guys play. Does it have to stay in the tray if you use a tray, or do you? I hate that I don't get somebody who the dice goes on the floor and they try and count it.
Yeah, if it's off the tabletop, then that's just ridiculous. Yeah. And obviously, if it's cocked, then that doesn't count. But I kind of feel like if you've got the tray, it should count only if it's in the tray, and that's generally how I play.
If you don't have the conversation though, you could make a nasty assumption, like if you rolled a miss and then re-rolled it quickly and it was a crit, it doesn't be so, but it missed. Yeah,
I would definitely check first. I think I would definitely say, do you want to use the tray and just only count dice rolls in the tray?
We have a question: is where does one buy an Agents of Sigmar dice tray?
Well, you see, that dice tray was made for us by a lovely man online from Russia.
Yeah, from I can't remember the Leatherworks. I can't remember the name of the. I haven't seen him on Facebook.
I will stick a note in the channel.
Yeah, he's really great. Stuff is amazing. I actually got one made out of one of these companies that make them up. So I got the logo and sent off to they do it out of neoprene with the little poppers. So there you go. So want an AOS dice tray. Oh wow, we need to go into production on these, Pete. Matt's taking a tray. Anything rolled doesn't count. You should always bring it up at the start of the game. Yes, exactly. He declares it when he first rolls. Yeah, I will definitely try and do that. But I think I was so agitated about everything else that it didn't really occur to me. In fact, it's so ingrained that you re-roll it if it goes out of the tray. That it didn't occur to me. But it only occurred to me at the point at which I was about to pick up the dice that missed, and I just said, "Oh, that missed."
I think it's
because by at that point in the day, it wasn't going to make much difference to my day, so that missed. And the other thing that happened to me, I think I said this, the last one was I had branching fate in my hand, and I rolled 4 dice, and the dice were still sitting in the tray, and I realised that they were all different, and I couldn't quite remember when I rolled it, how long ago I rolled it, but I hadn't noticed at the time because I think I had in my mind you had to roll 3 dice to score branching fate, so I'd dismissed it. But and then I was sitting there looking at it. They're all different. Well, I've still got much. Shall I say anything? Shall I say anything? And I didn't.
I think I was.
I
think in the first game I played against Andrew at the Grand Clash, the first game was sort of close. The second game wasn't particularly close, and I was losing fairly badly. And I think Andrew rolled a dice. I don't know if you remember this, Andrew, but I think you rolled one of the dice, and it bounced out, but it was a crit. And I think he instinctively went to get it because it was like, oh, it's out the tray. I was like, it doesn't matter. Oh, you've won already. This will help speed the game up. It was that. It was one of those games. You're like, it doesn't matter now. It's fine.
I love this comment. All gentlemen know if a dice tray exists, only those dice in the tray count. That goes double for trays with the AOS tray. That's brilliant.
We'll have to see because you can obviously buy T-shirts and things. We'll have to see if we can get. He also
I don't know
with an AS logo that also has ready for action on it. Might already have one of those around sitting somewhere, just not on a dice tray. You can already buy T-shirts.
I don't know how we can. I don't know how we can do it because I sent off the logo to somebody and they made it. Which I don't know how we can because like Teespring you can
do them on
just
demand.
Design the T-shirt and they do the distribution. I don't know how you could do it with them. Maybe we need to talk to the guys who made my thing and see whether they can set one up.
Maybe we could just do a limited run, buy like 20 or something like that, and then we could offer them online to whomever might want some, and then find them stuck with 20 dice trays that nobody wants.
Just come up, just use them as coasters.
Yeah,
a hat. It's my AOS 4-cornered hat.
One of the questions we did get asked was, have we been practicing our segues for when we commentate on Sunday's Grand Clash final? They still haven't asked us. I mean, they're leaving it really late. I
think they're worried that if they do that once, they'll have to do it every time because we'll be so much better than. It's the only reason I can see. And not just for underworlds either. You know, all their events.
That's true. Yeah.
And frankly, they can't afford it.
I do. I still would love to commentate. I'd love to play a game on their Twitch channel, but I'd love to commentate a game on there. Even if it wasn't the final, I'd love to do a commentary on it.
I would too. So if you're listening, GW, and we're around on the Sunday, we'll do a game for you.
We're not planning on playing in the. We're not planning on being in the top 16, and we're not planning on playing in the skirmish game on the Sunday. So, let us know. Just give us a call. You know.
Andrew says you were very kind, let him have the crit, but if your rebound had gone off, he would have cried and then unsubbed.
Well, I think in that case we both won.
Oh, that's a point. Yes, our patrons playing us. They could threaten us.
Yeah.
If you play that card, I'm going to withdraw my subscription.
Just having the does that count? Yes, it does. Good. Let's just remember
Ricky Gervais isn't doing the Golden Globes next year, so if commentating goes well, you could get another gig. Yeah, we could do that. I reckon if I insulted as many Hollywood stars as he did, though, I'd probably be thrown out.
I think you'd probably end up dead.
Yeah.
I mean, God, he was brutal in that. I mean, it was beautiful to watch, but it was really wow.
Yeah.
Is there a grand skirmish planned for Sunday?
I think there is. Yeah,
I think
there's something.
It's going to be like, oh shit, I need to print out that stuff actually, because you need to take a form where you write out your deck list, and I haven't done any of that yet. But you do need to do. I think on the Sunday they do have. I think you've got to play about 5 or 6 games possibly, but they're only one-offs. They're best of ones rather than best of threes.
Yeah. Are they doing the Best Coast pairing thing again? Because I think you could submit your list in that last time.
That's a good point. Yes, they are doing Best Coast pairing, so hopefully that will be up by the Friday or so. But I'm going to write one up just in case because I don't trust something to not go wrong. Ed says we should sign up Duncan for a guest appearance. He's available for hire now. I don't know if we can afford him.
No, possibly not.
Ben says hello.
No.
Hello.
Hello, Ben.
Gervais didn't kill himself. No, that's where it's going. So we've gone through all our questions. I think we've ranted a bit about the Grand Clash and we've talked about our plans and everything. We had one.
Well, Matt says you don't need to write your deck out because they're using BCP.
Oh, okay, cool.
And I'm going to take PCP by the end of the day.
I'm going to take PCP at the start of the day. The Grand Clash was called off after a man had a psychopathic rampage through the shop, throwing titans at everybody.
May have to bring a trick deck for the Sunday. Ooh,
I've got a very different deck for Sunday. Sorry?
Like an actual. Steve 123 is going to bring a trick deck. I like the idea of a because my son was doing some card tricks with me earlier, and he's got some of them specially made cards. I love the idea of an actual underworlds deck that actually was for magic tricks. That would be quite cool.
And I've got rebound, and I've got rebound, and I've got rebound. I'm very tempted to take. Well, I'm going to be taking a Guardians deck to maybe play on the Sunday at some point, so that would be fun to have a go on. Ben Howard asked thoughts on how to make Ripper competitive. We haven't got a clue. We're rubbish.
No,
with
Ben, if further up the chat, we did talk about how we're terrible with Rippers. Somebody's their person who plays Rippers has won 8 games in a row or something. But we struggle with Rippers. We just find them too swingy. But yeah, so if you go back about 20 minutes, you might find that. Poor old Anthony's having to do work instead of listening to us, which is awful.
Just put a thing comment in the channel. You can always re-listen to it tomorrow, so we'll still be here.
Yes,
we'll be here forever and ever.
Yeah, in perpetuity.
And one other question we got asked as we're getting towards the end and we're descending into the random realms a bit more is what channel plans for 2020? World domination.
We're going to stop.
Ishpek says seriously, AOS dice tray. We'll have to start looking at the
yeah, we will.
I'll definitely.
It won't be before the Grand Clash, but it was fairly simple to do. Yeah, so we just need to work out how to get some.
Asking why not play the Sunday skirmish? It's in with a ticket. I don't think either of us will be compass mentis enough to be able to play.
There's 2 reasons. Well, I think. Well, there's that. There's the reason that Pete just said, which is I'm not sure I'll be able to play another 6 games the next day. I'm getting old, you know. But the main reason is a lie-in and breakfast in the hotel on the Sunday morning. Because the Grand Clash didn't go. I really enjoyed the Grand Clash last time. I really enjoyed meeting you guys, meeting everybody, having a drink in the evening and the quiz. I really enjoyed that, and with Jeff and a few other people. And then I really enjoyed my breakfast in the hotel, which I think I said last week to much hilarity. But that was really nice because I don't get to sit and quietly eat breakfast on my own very often. Well, Pete was there, but on my own very often because I've got 3 children. So
yeah, so we don't get the opportunity very often to.
No, so I enjoyed that. So that's one of the reasons. So I don't have to rush back out again. I think it's a little bit later. Last time it was a little bit later. Things were kicking off anyway, wasn't it? Even if we had qualified. Yeah. So I don't know if it's a later start. But then the other reason is actually because we've got to get home again afterwards. If that goes on till 6 o'clock, then we won't get home till after 9. And my wife will be like standing there like Les Dawson with a rolling pin. So
yeah.
Yeah, and Pete's an hour later, an hour even later.
Well, half an hour, but yeah,
or half an hour.
Yeah, plus there's the drive back. So
Jeff says quiz. I really enjoyed that quiz. That was really fun.
Quiz. I'm hoping for the quiz again. I'm a bit concerned that the question time bit might get a bit salty, with people saying why have you released the file list just a week in advance. I don't think many people are a fan of it, so I'm wondering if that.
Somebody said they didn't do one at the last one, so maybe they won't do it.
Maybe not. I guess it depends. Yeah.
Breakfast with exactly. We're having breakfast with Lenny Henry.
Damn right.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if anybody's going to be at the same hotel we're at because we're at the Premier Inn, I think.
Somebody was at ours. I can't remember who. Somebody was.
If anybody is and they want to lift there, we can do that. Les Dawson jokes, yeah, we are.
Yeah, get into that. Well, you know, probably most of you don't even know who Les Dawson is, but I'm getting old. What can I say?
I mean, yeah.
Sorry, getting older.
I do think.
You're coming on your own, Jeff. You haven't roped in the Auric and. I can't remember who else. Your other friend who came. Yeah, okay, we'll definitely be up for the quiz, and and then there's some sort of random conversation going on between Andrew and Anthony, which
we're going.
which mainly seems to consist of typos. So I can't unpick that one. So it's everybody's getting tired. I don't know, Anthony. You just got up. You've got no excuse for being tired.
Well, I
I
don't
know
know.
you're at work.
I'm quite tired when I've just woken up.
That's true. And he's at work, so yeah. Right.
Yeah, say thanks for the gift pack and see how quickly we get stoned. Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
One thing we are trying to work out on the channel is how we can try and get more content out, because we're kind of running at full steam right now. So we're not sure how we can improve on the content volume, or how we can improve on quantity or quality. We are also debating whether we add another rank to the channel on the Patreon side of things. Anybody who's not seen it, go and check out Patreon, because you get lots of extras on there. And we're debating about adding an
Might come with dice trays.
yeah, that might be one of the options. Different stuff, dice key rings, perhaps, that kind of thing.
Jeff's off. See you, Jess. Jeff.
We're gonna go. Jess.
Anonymous Jess.
We'll see you on Saturday, Jeff.
Yeah, see you on Saturday. Yeah, we'll come and say hello before things kick off.
And
you get more kinds of hosting guests. Yeah. Yeah, we've got. We'll probably do some Warhammer Underworlds online, won't we? That'll be one way of generating more content. I have to say, with Christmas and what have you, and I've been really busy because the family life has gone nuts. So at the moment, I'm just ticking over, and getting our 2 games in a week has been enough. I'm hoping to add deck reviews back in, as I haven't done a deck review for weeks, and then we'll try and build from there. But I think at the moment we're just going to be focusing on Underworlds, I think, aren't we, Pete? Because everything else just takes extra time and doesn't actually buy as much. We did Warcry; it was a bit popular, and people did like the content, but it's just it wasn't as popular as Underworlds. And actually, I have to say, I enjoy Underworlds far more than any other Games Workshop game. So
and I think it is still much more a contained game, whereas Warcry is still a bit more sprawly. I mean, they're different games. Obviously, one is a board game and one isn't. But yeah. Ishpek, you say you have a no Patreon rule. Why is that? Do you just not like Patreon, or just interested? He does say though we could get more content by hosting guest content. Do you mean getting guests on the channel to play games? Because that won't increase our content. We'll just end up playing other people instead of playing each other.
Or do you just mean, I don't know, I guess if other people made it, we could host their games. I guess.
Yeah, there is that.
Yeah, we could do that.
Although a lot of the time people want to see us play the game. And we've been told repeatedly in the past, people don't care what we play so much as long as
we could dub other people's games.
Sorry?
We could dub other people's games. I can't see that it could possibly go wrong.
I'm sure it'll be absolutely fine. So, for all of you people...
I was going to say something else and I can't remember what it was. Sorry, it's getting late.
We did debate in the past, each of us playing other people, seeing other people, and then each of us recording those on our own and doing it that way, but I don't think that would have the same level of our chemistry. Ishpek has clarified. He said other people said videos and we post them. I'm not against that kind of thing, although most of the time when people do their own videos, they want to put them on their own channel. But
yeah, I guess I guess it's a way of starting out, isn't it? You can branch out if it's popular, because there's quite a few people who post 2 or 3, and then if you don't get people watching, you get despondent, and then you stop. A bit like our Blackstone Fortress content, which I really enjoyed doing, but got about 100 views.
Yeah, that's a shame. We spend ages on it and we really enjoy it. But about 20 people watch it, and you're like, is it worth it as much?
Ishpek says he paid money for us dubbing other people's games too. We could get more content if somebody else edits the videos. That is true, but that's a double-edged sword because Pete's control freak. Because it has issues too. But yeah.
How dare you? Well, actually, it's more the fact that,
as I say to my wife, it's not rude if it's true.
Well, that's true. Also, still rude.
Which is why I have to sleep in the garage.
We don't just play out there. Robin has to sleep out there. The problem we do have with that, though, is generally it would cost a lot more to get someone else to edit the videos than we'd ever make off of them. So if we wanted to lose a solid £500 a month, we could do that. But yeah, I don't think that would really help.
Ed says he could do a video a week mainly because he's thinking puns and awful jokes. We've got that bit covered. I'm afraid, Ed, we could do that, no
It's
problem
the bit
at all.
about tactics that we
that.
lack.
I could do that in my sleep.
Or how not to paint things well and quickly. Well, I could do that one.
Yeah, to be honest, I could do that as well. Much better than you, Pete, Ed. Rather, I'm far worse than Pete as well. I'm far worse at painting than both of you.
I don't think you're bad at painting. I think your style's quite. It's a very rustic style. You do lots of layers, and you make things look beaten up and more realistic. Whereas I do more colouring inside the lines, kind of thing.
Yeah, but I think I spend a lot longer doing mine, and I think you've got more raw talent if you were, and you do yours very quickly.
I wouldn't say raw talent. I think I'm just quicker.
Hey, Phil has said twice that our content levels are great, and not to push ourselves too much. I think he's saying you can have too much, Robin and Pete. I think that's what he's saying.
He's like, can you just shut up now? just stop talking. But we want to become a world-dominating force in the gaming sphere, so that we get invited onto all the shows and stuff.
That's true. I think that's the thing. We obviously we've peaked quite nice at the content level, but we're still getting new viewers. Yeah. But there's a few channels that have started after us and have overtaken us, and I think that's just they have their own USPs that Pete and I don't necessarily have. But it can be a bit galling, especially as I think our content is up there.
I'd like to think we do some fairly premium content on Underworlds online.
That said, I think our Patreon base is brilliant and our fan base is brilliant. I love doing these chats, and we get good regulars in. It's really nice, and it's really nice seeing you guys actually talk to each other on the conversations. That's a really nice thing, and I think we add stuff to the community as a whole. So I think I'm really happy with where we are now, especially as I say, as things are a bit stressful at home. But I'm really happy with where we are, and I hope we continue that in 2020.
I think
it'll be great to have expertise in another game, but it's too much effort.
Yeah.
Drunk games nights. We kind of have talked about doing that, but I'm not sure it'd be pretty.
But that's I think the idea though. My suggestion was every time someone scores an objective, you have to have a shot. The only problem is me driving home afterwards.
That's true. Yeah. I don't think you could do that. It's not really the only problem either, is it?
Not really.
The problem is that I don't very often drink.
My games are bad.
I've had 2 shots and then I'd be out.
I mean, I'd have a chance of winning then, but yeah. I mean, overall, I'm quite happy with where we are on the channel. The weekly chats are great. Discord is really taking off for all our patrons as well.
Yes,
I'm enjoying that side of it. I think slow and steady is the key here, and I don't think we're ever gonna. I don't think we're ever going to make this something that we can make a living off of. We're still going to have our day jobs and that kind of thing. But I think, I'm enjoying where we're at right now.
Ishpek said, would you like to do a video on homebrew Underworlds content? Theoretically, yes. Do you mean post somebody else's video of homebrew? Because I could do that. But the chances of us making coherent homebrew content are fairly slim, I'd have said.
The chance of making a coherent deck for a battle report is slim at best.
Yeah, that's bad enough, yeah. So I wonder whether Andrew was on Discord. I don't very often see you on there, Andrew.
Turns out he's just forgot about it.
Yeah.
So I think that's probably us done for today, guys. It's nearly 20 past now, so we are probably going to have to sign off. TTS and Shadespire Online, we are looking forward to trying to get more of that on the channel. The TTS side obviously will have to be Patreon only, but Shadespire Online, we'll hopefully be able to get out a bit more content that way, because Robin, you were saying you might be able to play some games solo in the daytime, stuff like that.
I might actually be able to play people on the other side of the world, because I might be around in the mornings. As I said last week, my dad's in hospital at the moment, so it's kind of taken up my mornings, but or days. When that's all settled down, which hopefully it won't be that much longer, then I should have a bit of free time to play. Yeah. And my wife now is working from home. She's moved into a home office upstairs, so she's not using the downstairs computer, so I can actually get some games in, theoretically anyway. And it's all fun.
And TTS and Underworlds Online both give us that ability to play you guys at home, guys and girls at home. So I'm hoping we can try and pull other people into the channel and play games that way as well.
Yes, I'm hoping so. Matt's just asked that question. Yes, definitely. We'll definitely try and play some games with patrons and show games on Patreon and stream them, all that kind of stuff.
Fight Club guys say, great show, keep it up, and keep up those battle reports because they look awesome.
Gareth answered a completely random question at the end of things. Would you lose a glory if you don't have any with a Hungry Realmstone? That's a really good point. I can't remember the text of the question. My guess is either you wouldn't or you can't use it. Would be my, but depending on what the text is.
Yeah.
Ready for dice tray.
We're gonna work on the dice trays, guys. We'll start looking into that now.
Yeah.
We are thinking of maybe adding a new rank to the Patreon thing, where every 6 months we then create something just for the channel, like a shirt or baseball cap, or maybe a dice tray. So maybe we can use it for that.
So dice tray seems to be the way to go.
And Matt says he has a PC. Do you have Tabletop Simulator, Matt? If you do, let us know, and we can make things happen.
I've still been terrible at getting games of that in.
And Jason, everybody, if you've got Tabletop Simulator, do let us know on Patreon. I'd love to get. I played Anonymous Jeff on Friday, and
did you?
That was a brilliant game. It was awesome.
Was it Anonymous Jeff? How would you tell?
He was very kind and gentle, and made me feel special.
It's all you want in an online lover, really, isn't it? Yeah.
So do let us know, guys. We would love to be playing against you guys. And the other good thing about TTS and stuff like that is it means personal photos, eh? I know where you're going with that one, Milky. We can make that happen too. The good thing about TTS and Underworlds Online as well is there's no editing involved. So if one of us gets a chance to play for an hour in an evening, that's just like an hour's worth of content, which helps.
Yeah.
Yep.
Anthony lives 11 hours into the future. Yeah, that is an issue. But maybe if I get up in the morning, you see, mind you, I suppose that's probably 11 hours. But if I can't play till 9, so it's 10 o'clock your time, Anthony. So that might work. But I've got to get life under control first. But
you can do that over a weekend. Like one person, it could be 9 a.m. The other person 9 p.m. We can make that happen. Time is not a factor.
Yeah. What it is.
Yeah, that too. But yes, we can.
Okay, I feel like we're rambling now.
That's where we want to go. More digital content, playing all you Patreons. Yeah. So, check out Patreon if you haven't. It's worth a look, I reckon.
I mean, of course, long-term goals. The children will leave home, and then we'll have loads of free time. But that's quite a long term.
A lottery win.
Yeah. Okay, guys. Now, those of you at the Grand Clash, really looking forward to seeing you on Saturday. Do come and say hello. We'll try and get there early-ish so we can say hello to people before we have to all sign up and everything. But that sign-up process was pretty simple last time, and it'd be really good to see as many people as possible.
And I said it last time, I'll say it again. If you're going solo, or you're a bit anxious about the whole thing, or you're not sure, and you just want a friendly face around, come and find us and have a sit and have a drink. We'll more than happily chat rubbish all day.
If you can arrange it, play us first, because that would be a nice win under your belt.
I'll just start you off on a plus. Just ask Andrew.
Yeah.
Right, guys.
Okay, guys. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next week. And next week we'll talk all about our wonderful Grand Clash experience and how terrible it was.
Talking to you and giving you all the secrets about how I won glass with despoilers.
Yes, you might get in White Dwarf. Neil Snowball Hill is in White Dwarf this month. Yeah, little photo of him saying how to do things at the Grand Clash.
Ago.
He won when we were there.
Wow, that took them a long time. Mind you, they probably do their White Dwarf articles way in advance as well.
The article was about Grand Clashes, and it was like tips on a Grand Clash. So that's he was in there with him and Jay Clare had that little box with their photos. Yeah.
Cool. Well, we'll see anybody going to the Grand Clash on Saturday, and for the rest of you, we'll see you online on Patreon, in Discord, or just next week.
Here next week. Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.